of faces on the screen. So I'll start off by introducing everybody. So I'm joined by Stephen Daly, who is a lecturer in biomedical science in Sligo. And also on the talk, we have Rita Woodings, who's a lecturer in quality management in ATU Galway-Mayo. We're then joined by a graduate and current student, Brid Greaney, who's a quality technician in TE connectivity, formerly Craiganna. And she is a graduate of our level 7 in quality for industry and is currently undertaking the level 8. So looking forward to talking to her on that. And then finally, we have Daniel Ozdzinski, who is currently working in MD and is studying the level 6 in biopharma processing. So a great lineup to talk about all the different experience that they have. If there's any questions you have for the panel or anything you think about, please do go and drop a question into our live Q&A. There is a team there who are answering those questions just while the talk is going on. The talk should last about 20 minutes, even though we have plenty to talk about, so that's going to be a stretch. And then you know, it will be recorded so people can watch back again, and just to give you that little heads up. So look, with no further ado, I'm going to start by talking to Stephen. And I suppose the aim for this, the topic of this talk is about getting started really in those industries. Biopharma and Medtech, they're thriving industries within our region and beyond. And really people, you know, just to give a sense of kind of what's possible. Stephen, could you talk just a little bit about biopharma?
Yeah, sure. I suppose, listen, I'm just going to start very briefly by explaining a little bit what biopharmaceuticals are. Maybe not everybody is fully aware of that, but I suppose traditional medicines that you might be aware of, like we'll just say for a simple example, aspirin, paracetamol, ventral inhalers, they're made by chemical means using chemistry and, you know, chemical reactions, etc. The new generation of drugs are biological drugs. They're biopharmaceuticals, and they're made using biological processes, and essentially you're using cells to make proteins, and those proteins are often, not always, monoclonal antibodies, which are then used as medicines. There's a number of biological drugs out there which have been made through biopharma processes. Probably one of the most well-known is Humira, which is probably the best-selling biological drug in the world of all time, made by AbbVie. That's just a little bit snapshot as to what it's about, Cleo. But I suppose the good news is there's so many jobs in this area in Ireland. All the big players in biopharmaceuticals are based in Ireland. We've got 2 in Limerick. We've got Eli Lilly and Regeneron. Regeneron are more established. A lot around the Cork area again, and the likes of Lilly have a place down there. And then around Dublin, you've got Pfizer and Grange Castle, who make a big product there, which is called Enbrel, which is similar to Humira, and also they make pneumococcal vaccines there as well. Bristol Myers Squibb in Cruz Rath as well. So that's just a few of them, but just to give a snapshot that there's a lot of jobs in this area. At any one time, there's probably about 5,000 vacant jobs in biopharmaceuticals in this country. Wow. So there's a huge demand for people in it. So how do you get into it? Well, we have 2 really good courses in this area, as you know, Cleo. We've got a level 6 certificate, a special purpose award in biopharmaceutical processing. And we've also got a level 6 certificate in aseptic biopharmaceutical operations. Just to explain what the difference is between both of those. So both of them are what we call special purpose awards. They're 30 credits. Okay, so they're a great way to dip your toe, I suppose, in education. I suppose maybe if you haven't studied for a while, a great way to dip your toe in the biopharma industry and see do you like it. And I suppose they run over 2 semesters, which is 1 academic year. All of the courses, both courses are fully online, but there is an element where you have to go to NIBRT in Dublin, which we'll speak about in a minute. So the biopharmaceutical processing course, that is very much about understanding the whole biopharma manufacturing from start to finish. And how that plays out is you've got what's called upstream, downstream, sterile fill finish, and bioanalytics. The upstream is the beginning of the process. The downstream is sort of purifying your protein and finishing it and getting it ready for formulation. And then the sterile fill finish is how you formulate it in that product to actually give to a patient. And then we have the testing elements as part of it. So that's a really lovely comprehensive story about biopharma processing as a whole. The aseptic biopharmaceutical operations course is very much about clean rooms and how you work in a clean room, because all these products are made in a clean room environment. And this course gives you a great awareness about manufacturing product in a clean room, how you design clean rooms, how you clean them, which is really important, and your own behaviors and gowning and everything like that. So a clean room is only, you know, that's one element of it, but all the other things about the cleaning, the gowning, the behaviors, etc., fit around that, and that's what that course is about. So that's doesn't tell you so much about the process, but tells you about the facility, I suppose, or the area that you work in, if you like. Both highly relevant, and you know, I suppose the courses are well regarded, and I suppose to give a great, or, you know, people a great opportunity maybe to step in, get that first hold into the biopharma industry.
So just briefly on that, you know, if somebody's thinking of those courses, what do you need in terms of qualifications? I'm going to move on now just to get into the course. Like, can you come in? Do you have to be working in there, or can you come in from any discipline to just
No, you can come in from other disciplines. Generally, I suppose if you have, let's say, a level 5, like a Leaving Cert or a PLC or something like that, then you're looked upon. Of course, if somebody has been working in an area for many, many years, we will always look and see, maybe look at their, you know, their mature student status or whatever, something like that. So it is open for many people to get into it, if you like. So I would say, even if you think you mightn't be a candidate, you should apply, and we look at you on a case-by-case basis. Generally speaking, it's Leaving Cert level 5, but sometimes people with experience can also be looked at, of course.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm going to move on. I'm conscious of time. So I'm going to just move on to Daniel, because Daniel has direct experience, and we had a little chat earlier today about kind of how you came to the course. So Daniel, thanks Stephen, by the way. Could you talk us through kind of your experience? So you came from a different industry altogether. I suppose it was a change, COVID, all the rest. That backstory would be great to hear just for people.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, as you say, I came up from completely different discipline. I worked through 17 years in my history in Ireland. I work in the restaurants, hotels, finishing my career as a duty manager in one of the hotels in Kildare. And as many people, the COVID put our lives upside down. I switched and I joined the Apleona team in MSD. It's a contractor cleaning and sanitizing the clean rooms, which gives me a beautiful perspective of what's going on in the clean rooms and how everything operates. And I was really interested into study that new subject. And basically, a friend of mine advised me to go through the springboard and start the bioprocessing course in ATU Sligo. And here I am. Finishing the first semester, and I'm really, really, really enjoying the study and everything what's attached to that. So I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful to Springboard and to ATU Sligo for the opportunity I got, and I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no, you did. That's perfect. Like the Springboard course, because it's a level 6 course. Again, it's free as well. There's no fees attached to it. You know, it was funded by Springboard last year. Again, we'll know whether this year it's funded again. But I suppose that's good as well. You're able to take on the course and study and continue your work as well. Yes. The course is delivered online predominantly. You know, the lectures, aren't they? They're online. So you're based in Dublin, isn't that right? Yeah, and then you're able to join your online lectures. One of the parts of this course as well is the practicals that Stephen mentioned there through NIBRT. I think you've been on one of them. So NIBRT is the National Institution for Bioprocessing Research and Training.
Yes, that's true.
So tell us a little bit about that.
The practical course was very, very interesting. It was how will I say? It was very intense. I can put it this way, because that was only one day, and we go through the upstream and cell culture. But I can tell the students, they want to join us as well. That it was really, really worth it. The time we spent it there.
Yeah, and that's like, again, you're just reflecting what Stephen said there, it's the practical of the theory of, you know, like, so you're getting all the theory kind of on your lectures, and then you get the chance to go in there and get your intense training.
Yes, and to see everything in practice. Like, I'm a lucky one. I'm working on site in MSD in sorts, so I can see that every day.
Yeah.
But some people, they can get an idea of how the product is produced.
Yeah, that's great. And just in terms of your, so it's a 1-year course you're hoping to complete. You're nearly there with semester 1. I know it's a busy time. What would you? I know you were talking earlier about, you know, you want to apply for jobs, other roles. That's your hope, I suppose, out of this, is it?
Yes, that is my hope. And as I see, as Stephen mentioned, there is a big demand for this kind of specialists. So I'm hoping it's not gonna be that hard, and I'm doing my best during the course, and I'm really grateful to all the lecturers. They've been very helpful during the course, and they always answering your questions, and they always there for you. Okay. So I have finger crossed that everything will go good, and I will join hopefully MSD team soon.
Good stuff. Look, thank you for that. And I know you've got you were talking to Stephen earlier saying your favorite is upstream. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes. By looking at the production, I think upstream will be the thing I will prefer. And I'm already in contact with few people inside the MSD, so I'm trying to push the upstream side.
And Stephen teaches. What do you teach on, Stephen?
I coordinate this course, actually, so I don't actually lecture directly on it, you know. So I just make sure that a lot of things happen behind the scenes, I suppose, from a marks perspective and induction, etc. But I suppose just to talk very briefly about NIBRD, Cleo, I suppose with all my rapid on, I didn't really talk about it, but I suppose these courses, I suppose NIBRD are integral to delivering these courses and the training. And as you said, it's the National Institute of Bioprocessing Research and Training. It's a world-class training facility in Blackrock and Dublin. All the biopharmaceutical companies across the world are sending their people here for training, and I suppose it allows people like Daniel, I suppose, to see how these things are manufactured at the scale that we hear about. But we're allowed to make the mistakes in this place. As somebody said to me once, it's the failure lab, because you can go in and make the mistakes and there's no implications, but that's how you learn. The training there is world class, and all students, when they do the biopharma processing in semester 1 and semester 2, they go to NIBRD, and also as part of the aseptic biopharma operations in semester 2, they have to go to NIBRD as well.
Great. No, fantastic. Look, thank you very much. It's great to get both perspectives there, the person who's coordinating and making it all happen, and then the student attending. So look, we'll move on from that. That hopefully gives people a sense of how you can get into the biopharma industry. We have our other 2 panelists here, Rita and Brid, who are working in the medical device medtech sector, lecturing in programs related to that as well. So I'll just thank Stephen and Daniel, and we'll just, Rita, I will start with you. I know you are the coordinator on the computerized systems and data quality for medtech. There's a whole load of level 7 and level 8 programs as well offered in Galway at the Galway City campus, which are around that area of medtech quality. So do you want to just give us some view on that for everybody who's thinking of trying to get into that area?
Sure, absolutely. So I suppose following on from Stephen's, there's loads of things you've triggered me to say. I suppose the medtech sector is as vibrant as the biopharmaceutical manufacturing sector, and where I don't have numbers in terms of open jobs and positions, I know it's a hungry sector and it cannot get enough employees across a suite of quality roles. To mention particularly the computerized system and data quality programme, I crafted that programme with guidance and support from colleagues and my head of department here in direct response to industry need. I was a hiring manager in Boston Scientific, and part of my remit was the software validation and computerized system validation function. And I could not, over the course of 8 years, could not hire enough people to meet the needs that we had in Boston. And we often ended up taking in people in contract positions. Typically, we were taking in people that were working as consultants and paying a very high fee, for perhaps a kind of an engineer basic level role. So the course is directly crafted in response to that particular niche need. And it's a very nice course with colleagues that I would have worked with in TE Connectivity. I'm still tempted to say Creganna Medical and Boston Scientific and other companies. Ex-colleagues have been very, very supportive of helping us craft the course. Not only that, but also coming in and delivering guest lectures to our students across the various suite of programs. So that particular program that I lead up myself is Computerized System and Data Quality for MedTech. I'm available anytime to answer questions on that program. But we also have a broader suite of programs, our Level 7 Quality for Industry, that is specifically targeted at people. And the types of students we tend to get in on those courses are people who perhaps are working in operations or production in medtech, or like Daniel, in another sector and are interested in breaking into medtech. And we've seen, and Brid will testify to this and speak to it directly in a couple of minutes, that these courses directly support people's career progressions when they apply on. Some of the larger medtech companies have rules around the level of academic qualification you need to have to apply for certain positions. So our Level 7 program is actually a collection of 3 certificates. So you can apply for these certificates on their own. And as an accumulated effort, then you can graduate with the Level 7, provided you have the Level 6 entry requirement met. And we have just to give a little sample of it, you know, I teach myself the validation module on that, and that's just a critical part, whether you're in quality operations, engineering, you know, everybody needs to know about validation. We also have a module on production and supervisory management, clean room management, where we talk about some of the same stuff as Stephen, I would imagine, Six Sigma for quality management, regulatory affairs, compliance auditing, you know, you get a lovely grounding in the sector. So if it's somebody who's worked in production and understands the product, they really do kind of learn about all of the different constructs of quality management that have to surround putting a good product onto the market. And then if you wish, you can follow on. There's a Level 8, a 2-year program, Level 8, which Brid is about to complete year 1 of, and we'll speak to that, and I'll pass to Brid in a second. And in that we look at technical writing, design quality assurance, which is just a gorgeous module. I taught it for 1 year, statistics and experimental design, microbial quality assurance, risk management, one that I teach, and I really enjoy that subject. We have a project, we've QMOE, like operational excellence within quality management. So a lovely, lovely suite of programs. And I'm conscious of time, so I'm probably pushing a bit too much in here, but we've lovely postgraduate diploma and master's courses that can follow from these as well. And just to complement the NIBRT facility as well, I totally back what Stephen said. Some of our advanced biopharm students spend time in NIBRT. I've tried to get on one of those days myself. I haven't succeeded yet, but I will persevere.
So I will, just to read, I know we could talk, and I know we can go a little bit over. I did sign to say we can go a few minutes over because we haven't talked to Brid yet, and she's been waiting patiently. And Brid has a great story. So Brid, could you, I know, just to even give people a sense of where you came from and how you got started, and we might just talk about the blended learning approach as well, just if we get a chance as well when you're chatting.
Yeah. So my background was production. So I was 16 years in Boston Scientific, and I moved to TE Connectivity, or Creganna it was known as, in 2013. And my plan was to move into supervision, but while I had all the experience in the world, I didn't have the qualifications. So it was actually word of mouth. I had researched courses online, but I always seemed to come back to the ATU Quality for Industry, and so many people at work had done it. So I applied for it. I did quality management 1 and 2. And when I got into year 3, I decided, you know what, I actually like the quality side a little bit more than the production side. So so I decided to move into quality from in year 3. In 2019, 2020, COVID came, and so all our online, all our person-to-person classes were cancelled, and it was online. Now it was difficult because I'm not tech savvy, but when I finally got the hang of Teams and Zoom and video calls, I just could not praise the lecturers enough for the support that they gave us. They recorded the lectures for us, because I didn't have good internet here at the time, and the group sessions, while like it was the project work, going into the breakout rooms, working in small groups and getting to know your colleagues that way. So while the face-to-face, we missed it. It was an easy transition once we got the hang of the technology. So if anyone interested, I couldn't recommend this course highly enough. The level 7, I learned it from the experience I had, the learnings that I got. They just married together, and like I've progressed my career now to technician, and I'm working my way towards that engineering role. And it's getting closer and closer. And this is based on the learnings that I have from the level 7 and also the level 8 that I'm working towards at the moment.
And I know we spoke earlier as well, and you were just saying that to actually get started as well, you had to go through the RPL process. I think the recognition of prior learning. Yeah.
Yes. So my like Daniel, my qualifications prior to this were hotel and catering. So to qualify my level 7, I need to have a level 6 in business, engineering, or science, and this was got through the RPL process. So it's recognition of prior learning. So those 20 years I had in production, they stood to me, and it was going into the depths of my brain and pulling everything out and just what I've done. And when you start writing, it just flows out. So like, don't be afraid if you only have a Leaving Cert or a PLC. There are ways to get your level 7 and get your degree. And when you're up there getting your scroll from the president, it's a very, very proud moment and well worth it.
Wow, that's great to hear. And I know you're doing the level 8 now, and we talked earlier that it's intense, and you know you're trying to balance everything in terms of working and keeping everything going. But you know it's the commitment is there, I suppose. And
the commitment is there, and you do get out what you put in. And the lecturers, like, they don't want you to fail. They're not there to help you. Like, they're there to help to get the best out of you, and they will go through points and questions with you, and again, like, they will help you every step of the way. Like, they don't just let you fly away in the wind. Like, they're there to help you, and they will get you through. And there's no such thing as a stupid question, because you can guarantee if you're thinking it, somebody else is too.
Yeah, no, look, that's great. And I'm sorry to have to wrap up, because I know we could keep talking for about another hour if we had a second stream that we could just go off to, because we know the next talk is going to be starting shortly. But as I said, look, thank you very much to all our panelists today. It was really just to give people an insight into getting started and opportunities for getting started in biopharma and medtech and how you can come in. So we've great examples from Brid around, coming in with your RPL and your qualifications from other areas, then being counted. Great examples from Daniel, again, switching career, and then also, progressing into learn online and to go to your practicals, and the blended learning approach as well that was there with Brid. So I will just close by saying thank you very much to Rita, to Stephen, to Brid and Daniel, and we really do hope that if anybody has any questions, they go to the live Q&A section.